The prosecution would like to call Johanna Dujardin to the witness stand. She approaches the center of the room and affixes you with a steady stare. Do you swear to tell the whole truth without hatred or fear? Nothing would give me greater pleasure. That's a sus line if ever I've heard one. Jesus. Sensing the venom dripping from the woman's words, the judge takes his seat. Just looking at this woman causes pain to grow in your chest like a snake coiling around your heart. What is she plotting? In your own words, could you please tell the court what you observed in the summer of 1789? At the time, I was living on the western side of the city with Armand de Marbeau. During my time living with him, I observed many suspicious instances. He frequently held meetings with various unscrupulous persons, meetings that, I learned later, were traitors to the interests of France. You seem familiar with what these people were discussing. Did you yourself take part in any of these traitors' meetings? Absolutely not. However, I did read a few letters that Armand left scattered around our residence together. He was always so careless, you see. Reading his correspondence, I found he was so frequently in contact with his fiancée Yvette, who was living elsewhere in the city. From what I observed, I believe that she was the mastermind behind this Frankish Habsburgian society, that she had deceived him into acting against his best interests, and... Yes, the court agreed to look upon Baron de Marbeau mercifully in exchange for your assistance in finding the leader of this organization. Now, in regards to your claim that the defendant is said mastermind, do you have any evidence? In fact, I do. Earlier on, I entrusted it to you as evidence of her crimes. It is the letter she sent to her Armand detailing her involvement in this cabal of fanatics. I must confess I stole this letter from Armand, but I hope the court will be lenient with me in light of my contribution to the public good. Worry not, Madame Dujardin. I'm sure the court can be convinced to see the upright intent behind your transgression. To quote the letter discovered by Madame Dujardin, Armand, the success of the Frankish Habsburgian society hinges upon your actions. You must put aside your reservations for the good of our cause. I've worked too hard since founding this great order to let contemptible monarchs of this land stand in the way of my ambitions. At the end is signed, your partner in conspiracy, Yvette. I think we have no choice to believe that this missive is incredibly falsified, you idiots. The jury mutters darkly amongst themselves. You cannot stop the horror you feel from reaching your face. I know, Yvette, your treasonous words are truly shocking. I hardly believed them myself when I read them. Please look upon your crimes for yourself, if you can bear witness to them. The prosecutor sneers and shoves the letter in your face. You frantically scan the unfamiliar letter and feel your stomach plummet. It even looks like your handwriting. It's not a perfect forgery, but it's close. You look at Johanna's face as the smile of triumph that a predator gives its prey before the end. Look inside your bag with a smile of your own. Johanna may fool herself into thinking that she could possibly outwit you, but you already have everything you need to strip her of any such illusions. The prosecution rests, Your Honor. The prosecutor takes his seat and takes a moment to compose himself. You take a moment to compose yourself. You're almost giddy with anticipation. As before, the court shall grant you the privilege of a question for the witness. I'm sure you have many questions, Yvette, but you should make this one count. Your Honor, before I question her, I'd like to submit 3 pieces of evidence. The courtroom gasps at this unexpected declaration. What could you possibly have? Oh, they'll learn soon enough. I'm sorry, you would like to what? You'd like to what? You, stop this foolishness immediately. My title is Your Honor, Madame. I shall also remind you that I do not answer to your whims. My duty is to find traitors to the crown and have them removed from our midst. Madame Decaux, what do you have for us? This better be good. Carefully, you lay out the 3 pieces of evidence you spent months gathering together for just such an occasion. First is the letter you found underneath the kitchen floorboards, detailing the existence of a mysterious Johanna who is leading the Frankish Habsburgian society. With that, you introduce the letter Armand gave you, the one signed by Johanna von Holben. The handwriting matches the first letter, but is unfortunately written in German. You are extremely fortunate, Citizen Decaux. As a man of learning, I am perfectly able to read German. Please give the letter here. The judge reads in silence for a few minutes before intoning, let it be known to the court that this letter indicates that the woman known as Johanna Dujardin is actually an Austrian woman by the name of Johanna von Holben. This letter details little else of relevance. Finally, you present the signet ring of the von Holben family. Its sigil was used to seal both letters. Originally intended to allow Armand to escape across the border to safety, it has now become the final nail in her coffin. All this evidence would suggest that this Madame von Holbein is the real leader of the Frankish Habsburgian society. It would also mean that she attempted to frame you as the real leader of this organization, the judge says to you, the reality of the situation slowly dawning on him. Sacre bleu. Guards, arrest that woman. The judge screams in shock, pointing at Johanna. What? No, she snaps as she's roughly seized at either shoulder by a pair of guards. Yeah, she's so screwed. Do you think this is over? Do you insignificant fleas have any idea what I've sacrificed to get this far? Do you have any idea who? All you cretins had to do was admit for a single moment that you weren't the smartest people in the room, to admit that none of you had any idea what you're doing. But you couldn't even do that. This is the end. My ambition will not be contained, not by you, not by nations, not even by God. Well, you're gonna die. You are most fortunate then, Madame von Holbein. Your ambition will be ended neither by men, nations, nor the divine. It shall be ended by the guillotine. Guards, take her away. We'll arrange a proper trial for her crimes later. No, we have fucking evidence she just gave false testimony in court. Take her out now. The judge, Johanna glares at you, her eyes dripping with hatred. Don't even look at her. Don't you ignore me! Don't you dare ignore me! She screams as the guards drag her, kicking and screaming out of the courtroom. As for you, Yvette Decaux, I have no choice but to declare a mistrial and to find you innocent of all charges. A mistrial? Your Honor, surely you can't be serious. You will be silent unless you'd like to join Madame von Holbein in a cell. I am absolutely through with being contradicted in my own court today. Prosecutor slinks away at this reprimand, but not before he gives you a haughty sneer. You decide to favor him with your broadest, sweetest smile. The trial is over. Yvette Decaux, you are free to go. You have lost all peril.